On Tuesday, January 15th, the cast of Grey's Anatomy finished shooting the 15th episode of the 15th season. When the show's 332nd episode aired on February 28th, Grey's Anatomy officially became television's longest-running medical drama, surpassing ER, which impressively held onto the title for 10 years. It's arguable that Grey's Anatomy, which premiered on March 27, 2005, is one of the most well-known and loved medical dramas ever. Since 2005, the show has been the average Netflix watcher's staple and has become a cultural phenomenon, monopolizing the spotlight for over a decade. As of July 2012, the show has been nominated for 25 Primetime Emmy Awards, and various prominent actors and directors of the show have also received their own awards throughout the years. Even more recently, Grey's Anatomy has found itself at the center of conversation with one of its most recent episodes, episode 19 of season 15, entitled Silent All These Years, which followed the heartbreaking story of Abby, a woman who finds herself in the hospital after what is clearly an instance of sexual assault. The episode is moving and poignant, and received acknowledgement for the way it so delicately and yet powerfully told the story of sexual assault and recovery on the big screen. Although Grey's Anatomy has been a medical drama fan favorite for over a decade now, and has crafted a memorable storyline with complex characters and backstories, evolving romances and fights, captivating medical miracles, and heart-wrenching reminders of the reality of death, the show isn't that unique. Before an army of Grey's Anatomy fans start readying themselves to attack me for that statement, let me explain. I myself have been an avid Grey's watcher since high school, and have followed the show as it paved the way for my love of other medical dramas, like House, Private Practice, The Night Shift, and most recently, New Amsterdam. I, like so many others, have fallen in love with the medical drama world, but have come to understand that today's shows really aren't that special. The first medical drama aired in 1951. City Hospital ran for 2 years and set the stage for future shows like Dr. Kildare, General Hospital, MASH, Doogie Howser MD, ER, Scrubs, House, Grey's Anatomy, Private Practice, The Night Shift, Chicago Med, The Good Doctor, New Amsterdam, and The Resident, just to name a few. The full list, or at least as extensive as I could put together, of medical dramas since 1951 includes 70 different shows. And since City Hospital, directors and writers have only gotten better at understanding what an audience wants and expects a good medical drama to provide. Each show built on the success of the previous and learned what storyline and character tropes resonated with viewers in a positive way. The things that early medical dramas were creating were so brilliant and popular that they became a staple part of the medical drama genre and were taken for granted, copied, and frequently repeated over time. City Hospital and the dozens of medical dramas that came after it paved the way for the success of more modern shows today, like Grey's Anatomy. Authors Lisa Gittleman and Jeffrey Pingree tell us that all media were once new media, and that it is also true that media goes through a sort of identity crisis in which it identifies itself according to existing media, while simultaneously attempting to forge a new and different identity for itself. J. David Bolter and Richard Grusin put it this way, that new media are doing exactly what their predecessors have done, presenting themselves as refashioned and improved versions of other media. This reaffirms the idea that media, like our beloved medical dramas, aren't really that unique or original. In fact, the medical dramas that my generation values today is just a retelling of the most relatable tropes and cliches that have been tossed around the genre for decades. Is this a bad thing? Apparently, critics of The Resident believe so. The Resident, which first aired in 2018, is one of the more recent medical dramas to hit the stage, and has received a fairly unprecedented amount of hate for doing what every show before it has done, namely, deploying what works. Critics have stated that The Resident is ridiculous and filled with hospital show cliches, and that it's a familiar medical show filled with broad strokes and broad characters. Why is it that The Resident, the 70th show on my list of medical dramas, is the show having its characters and plot overly scrutinized for things that older and more popular medical dramas have been blatantly doing all along? Maybe it's just part of the coming of age of a new show, but regardless, it seems slightly hypocritical. So, is Shonda Rhimes, creator of the highly beloved Grey's Anatomy, just a master scam artist, ripping off the dozens of other medical dramas that came before? Or is she a genius who understands that everything truly is a remix, like Kirby Ferguson says, and that media shouldn't shy away from the truth? I hope you're seeing that she is more accurately the latter. Shonda has created an empire that has flourished on the age-old cliches of doctors falling in love, 24-hour days of chaos, medical mysteries and miracles, and feel-good moments that leave the nation in tears. And like all good art, Grey's Anatomy has allowed other writers, directors, actors, and fans to continue the stories of medical dramas in new avenues, like The Resident, which, in all actuality, isn't that new after all.